What's up, Teen Talk fam? It is your host, B. Shaw, and I'm here with.
Your boy the Juice.
Your boy DJ Dede in the building.
Miss KK.
And Deshaun B.
Yes, sir. Thank you all for tuning into our show. We have a lot of interesting topics lined up for today. But first, let's get into some of Miss Nikki's success stories of the week. Deshaun, what was your success of the week?
I would definitely say my success this week was just having the strength to have difficult conversations. Just being able to open up on things that's really been on my heart has allowed me to overcome. And things that I thought that was huge mountains, I realized is real small. So just having those difficult conversations will definitely help you get through your week and keep you motivated.
I like how you worded that. I feel like it's very important to have those conversations because it hurts, but at the end of the day, when you open it up, it'll all end up better in the end of the day. DJ Daddy, what's your success of the week?
Yes, sir. So I'm always, blessed. I'm blessed to be here today, with you guys. I'm blessed by, God to be here. So that, and I also had a very successful week with my family. My great grandmother, she came from California also with my little cousin. So they're here now. We just been cooking out, just having a good time, having real deep conversations like Deshaun B said, and, just enjoying ourselves. So it's been a successful week, just having my family around and stuff. Yeah.
That's good. Enjoy quality time with your family, everyone. The Juice, what's your success story, man?
My success story is that I survived my first virtual first semester of eighth grade. So that's my success story.
Good, man. Keep it up, bro. Stay in school. KK, Miss KK, what's your
Yes.
success story?
My success story is that I ended up having to make very difficult adult decisions in my life. And despite the struggle that it's going to have on me in the next like 2 weeks, I know that it was the right decision for me. And I'm actually very proud of myself because it would have been very easy for me to just feel, depressed about it, not wanting to do anything anymore. But instead, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to strengthen the other things that I want to do in my life. And I truly feel like it put me on the path that I'm supposed to be going on and getting more focused on my future career rather than just a side job. So we're getting back in their focus despite this loss that I did have.
Miss KK, we're proud of you too. It's very important. Although these decisions are hard, once you make them and it actually takes the courage to actually go out there and do something about it, that's when you're winning. So good job, Miss KK.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all of your successes and remember to celebrate even the small successes every day and throughout the week. All right, it's time to get the teens talking. Anytime during our show, if you have a question, just DM us on Instagram at Teen Talk Vegas 881. Although Nevada's report card rate is starting to improve its reputation, ranking as the worst state for education, we still have a long way to go to make sure students are properly set up for success. Each year, Nevada is measured on how well it performs in key areas such as the student success rate, school finances, and K through 12 achievements. Today, we will be discussing the impact of Nevada's report card. So let's get right into our first question. Ms. KK, can you think of a situation, policy, or classroom structure where you felt it did not set you up for success?
Yes, there is this thing that happened around like I want to say my freshman year of school, and it was these type of tests that we had to do in our like freshman studies class, and it just sucked. It didn't make any sense, and they also started doing like these group, like all of our classes, even math classes, you had to be in a group, and I forgot the curriculum it was called, but the school district was basically trying to teach us how to work together and like do all these different type of learning styles. But when they did that, they kind of just mixed us all up and had us try all these different things instead of like finding out what each student needed. So it just didn't really work out. A lot of us were like, we were cool with each other, but it's like some of us were good at this, some of us weren't. And so of course we started cheating on each other. Like you do this, you do this. And we just did it that way. But it sucked because some of us didn't get what we needed to learn how to do because we just used our partner's paper. So I forgot I apologize because I forgot what it was called, but it was some type of movement that was going on for like 2 years, and then they figured out it didn't work, and they just stopped doing it.
That's crazy. So they just like rounded all of you guys up like some cattle and didn't focus individually,
Yeah,
but they
there
actually
was it was like colored tables. Like one person was the speaker of the day, the second person had to go get the supply. Like it felt like we were in elementary school, but we were in high school. Like it just
That's
didn't make any
crazy.
sense.
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk about me after that because that's crazy. Deshaun, I know you had something to say. Can you give us an example?
Yes, the No Child Left Behind policy. I just remember growing up in school, that was just a policy, and I just didn't quite understand how they would be passing along students into each grade, even though they wasn't properly ready. And then when I was in high school, they made us take this state test that if you didn't pass, you didn't get your diploma. And there was so many kids who just was not passing these state tests. And I was like, that's the product of them having that law and just passing us along, even when you really didn't know it. So I feel like that right there really messed up some of the people in my generation because we were passed along even if we wasn't successfully ready to go to the next grade. And once you make it to your senior year, if you're not passing them tests, you're not about to what was a proficiency test? That's what it was. And they wanted to know math, English, and reading and science. So if you couldn't pass those subjects, it was real hard for students to get their diplomas.
That's just crazy, especially for the fact that they did pass a lot of kids along who were not ready. That's like so sending your soldier in the battlefield and getting mad when they don't win when they weren't ready. All right, let's get into our next question. Do you think a student's socioeconomic background, such as their parents' income, occupation, and education, can have an impact on their success in the classroom? So I'm gonna go with DJ J. Do you think that their parents' backgrounds may have an impact on their success?
I feel like it could, but I also feel like everyone is different. And each person has their own choices. You know, if you go into school and you want to do better, then personally you're gonna do better for yourself because at the end of the day, nobody can make a choice for you but you. You know, it's up to you for you to do better. It's not where you came from or although that might have something to to do with it, like so it all depends, your perspective of the situation. Yeah.
I definitely feel that because obviously your parents are the people raising you. So no matter what, no matter who you are, how hard you work, they're gonna have an impact on their views to your views. Miss KK, did you want to go into that?
Yeah, I feel like your parents' socioeconomic background has more to do with your resources rather than your success in life because you can have very wealthy parents, have a stable home, and yet there's still children out there who don't want to do anything with their lives. Whereas you can have somebody who's middle class, has barely any resources, and ends up finding a way to make a path for their own life. So it doesn't really have to do with the level of success that you have in your life, but it definitely has something to do with your access to different types of resources. People with more money, we all know this, they have more access to those good programs. They're able to get you into college. They have all these other things that other people just don't have. And I feel like that's very unfair, but that's just the way the world works.
I feel that I definitely see, people with much more money obviously have access to all this stuff. They have private tutors, this, that. So there's definitely, it's not the same level of playing field, but that does not stop you to go out there and get yours. Deshaun, how about you?
I definitely want to touch bases on the resource part because I know in school there's so many resources for students, but it's not provided, it's not shared. So it's like people who necessarily need help with these programs don't even know it exists and don't even know that they can get help. Like I went through high school not even knowing that we actually had social service workers at the high school. And I was like, "You been here?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, we're always in the library." I'm like, I didn't know that. So I'm like, anybody who might have wanted to talk to a social worker would have never thought to go to the library during lunch to go speak with them. So I just feel like a lot of things is just real sheltered and hidden from the students, and really it should be more broadcasted so they can get the help that they need.
Yes, they definitely do have a lot of resources, and at different schools, they do not do a good job of exporting these resources to all the students, especially the ones who need them. How about the juice? Do you feel that having or not having early education in preschool will have an impact on a student's performance that follows them through elementary, middle, and high school?
Um, I would definitely say that it would help. How would I say? I'll pretty much say it would definitely help them improve their academics and different other subjects as they move up forward. And yeah, so I think it's very smart for them to do that, just to make sure, it's just, uh, I, I just don't know. I just feel like it's very important for the toddlers to, get to know something early, and just, let them see them grow to, a high expectations and, higher graders, stuff like that. So that's how I feel.
And
I
to add
definitely feel what you're saying. Go on, Deshaun, my bad.
and to add on what he was saying, I mean, I feel like it definitely teaches them how to be a student. Like if you don't learn how to be a student in preschool, it's gonna be kind of hard for you to learn certain things if your parents is not teaching you. And parents, some parents teach you everything, and some parents teach you the bare minimum. So go back to what DJ Day was saying, just depending on the person and their upbringing.
Yeah, how important is it for parents to teach their kids stuff while they're young? You guys think?
I mean, me personally, I think that's probably the most important because when you're young, your parent is the only person you really look up to. Before school, you don't have teachers, you don't have, it's just your parents. So, like,
Right.
everything they teach you, you learn. So, I feel like it's very important.
Okay.
Any of you guys want to answer that? Or,
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I think it's very highly important. I feel like parents in recent years are realizing that they've been clocking in on their children, meaning that the kids who are, the younger kids who have to do remote learning, some of their parents don't like helping them with their homework. Some of their parents feel like, oh, all that's the teacher's job. But no, because they send their kids home with homework. And if you're not at home teaching them how to do their homework, they're not gonna do it. And so parents
Yeah.
play a vital role in kids learning education and kids being excited about education. Just parents asking their kids like, oh, what'd you do in school today? Like that makes them feel like it's something important. And I just feel like now parents are really starting to like clock in like, oh crap, like I need to make sure my kid knows how to do this, or they're going to be struggling in the next few years.
Yeah,
that's facts.
that's very
And
true.
on another note, Miss KK, speaking of parents, how big of a role do you think the teacher plays in getting the student engaged and motivated to want to achieve or even exceed their expectations?
Parent teachers are also very important. I mean, they're in charge of our education. And if I can tell that my teacher doesn't care about what they're teaching, they're having us watch like videos are nice if there's something added onto it. But if you're just having me watch a video, if I ask you a question and you like roll your eyes or you're struggling, like that makes me uninterested. I'm that type of person. If I find out my professor is not here for any of us, it's gonna make me clock out and I just end up teaching myself because I prefer it. And I feel like kids are the same way. Kids read energy so crazy. Like toddlers are very honest. If they don't like you, they'll say they don't like you. And teachers just have to be very cognizant of how they present themselves, and that they have to realize that you showing enthusiasm about something else makes the kids want to do it as well. It's very infectious. And that goes up into professors too.
I like that. And Deshaun, we were just talking about teachers and specifically as Kayla was saying, how they sometimes mistakes they make. I want you to go in depth about how important teachers are. And also after that, can you give me, since we are minorities, do you ever recall a situation of racial bias where you either saw a teacher give preferential teacher to a non-minority student, or worse, witnessed oppressive teaching to you treatment to you or another minority student?
So I'm gonna answer your second one first, because that was gonna be fresh on my mind. And when it comes to that, I've really never seen anything done when it comes to like teaching wise. I've always seen it done when it comes to discipline. Because I was one of the students that would always kind of get in trouble, and I'd be like, okay, well, why am I being sent to the principal when they just did the same thing and you didn't respond to them the same way? That's where I would see the difference in how they kind of discipline us, because they have low patience for Black students. The minute that you mess up in class, they expect you to go to the office, and that's not how you're supposed to be dealing with students. And I feel like the teachers are very important because based off your energy and you believing in that student, they can do a lot. And I feel like if teachers understand that their personality is what makes a student like you, then they should be coming into the room, leaving all of them issues at the door. That's what they teach us, but it's like the actual teachers don't be leaving their attitudes at the door. And I feel like that's the reason we had that gap right now.
Exactly. You know, you say they could do a lot or they could do a little. It's all the power is in their hands, and I agree with you. And back on the punishment part, there's been times where I was in the same room with the same student, or so I'm sorry, in the same room doing the same thing at the same time, and I got punished while they didn't. And it just made no sense. And that really prepared me for what was later to come in this world. So it's a good and bad aspect to it. Before we wrap up the show, I want us all to make the commitment of making this week the most impactful week yet. Thank you all for tuning into this Teen Talk discussion. Be sure to follow us on IG at Teen Talk Vegas 881. And also check us out at teentalkvegas.com. If you enjoyed this show, continue listening for more interesting